All right, we're in chapter 5 of the Helicopter Flying Handbook, chapter 5, going into emergency procedures on page 5 of 6, the bottom of 4. Emergency procedures. Concise checklist describing the recommended procedures and airspeeds for coping with various types of emergencies. I think we actually already did this. So we're doing emergency procedures, section 4, normal procedures. All right, we'll be on page 5. The normal procedure section is the section most frequently used. It usually begins with a listing of airspeeds that may enhance the safety of normal operations. It is a good idea to learn the airspeeds that are used for normal flight operations. The next part of the section includes several checklists which cover the pre-flight inspections before starting procedure, how to start the engine, rotor engagement, ground checks, takeoff, approach, landing, shutdown. Some manufacturers also include the procedures for practice auto rotations. To avoid skipping an important step, always use a checklist when one is available. More information on maneuvers can be found in Chapter 9, Basic Maneuvers, and Chapter 10, Advanced Maneuvers. Performance, Section 5. The performance section contains all the information required by the regulations and any additional performance information the manufacturer determines may enhance a pilot's ability to operate the helicopter safely. Although the performance section is not in the limitation sections and therefore is not a limitation, operation outside or beyond the flight tested and documented performance section can be expensive, slightly hazardous, or outright dangerous to life and property. If the helicopter is certificated under 14 CFR Part 29, then the performance section may very well be a restrictive limitation. In any event, a pilot should determine the performance available and plan to stay within those parameters. These charts, graphs, and tables vary in style, but all contain the same basic information. Some examples of the performance information that can be found in most flight manuals include a calibrated versus indicated airspeed conversion graph, hovering ceiling versus gross weight charts, and height velocity diagram. For information on how to use these charts, graph, and table, refer to Chapter 8, Performance. Weight and balance is Section 6. The weight and balance section should contain all the information required by the FAA that is necessary to calculate weight and balance. To help compute the proper data, most manufacturers include sample problems. Weight and balance is detailed in Chapter 7, Weight and Balance. Aircraft and system descriptions. The aircraft and system description section is an excellent place to study all the systems found on the aircraft. The manufacturer should describe the systems in a manner that is understandable to most pilots. For larger, more complex helicopters, the manufacturers may assume a higher degree of knowledge. For more information on helicopter systems, refer to Chapter 5, Helicopter Components, Sections, and Systems. Handling, servicing, and maintenance. So usually be Section 8. The handling, servicing, and maintenance section describes the maintenance and inspections recommended by the manufacturers, as well as those required by the regulations and Airworthiness Directive AD compliance procedures. There are also suggestions on how the pilot operator can ensure that the work is done properly. This section also describes preventative maintenance that may be accomplished by certified pilots, as well as manufacturer-recommended ground handling procedures, including considerations for hangaring, tie-down, and general storage procedures for the helicopter. All right, going to page 6 of 6, supplements, section 9. The supplement section describes pertinent information necessary to operate optional equipment installed on the helicopter that would not be installed on a standard aircraft. Some of this information may be supplied by the aircraft manufacturer or by the maker of their optional equipment. The information is then inserted into the flight manual at the time the equipment is installed. Since civilian manuals are not updated to the extent of the military manuals, the pilot must learn to read the supplements after determining what equipment is installed and amend their daily use checklist to integrate the supplemental instructions and procedures. This is why air carriers must furnish checklists to their crews. Those checklists furnished to the crews must incorporate all procedures from any and all equipment actually installed in the aircraft and the improved company procedures. Safety and operation tips, section 10. The safety and operational tips section is optional and contains a review of information that could enhance the safety of the operation. Some examples of the information that might be covered include physiological factors, general weather information, fuel conservation procedures, external load warnings, low rotor RPM considerations and recommendations that, if not adhered to, could lead to an emergency. Chapter summary. This chapter familiarized the reader with the RFM, the Rotary Flying Manual. It detailed each section and explained how to follow to better understand the flight manual to enhance safety in flight. So that was Rotorcraft Flight Manual, page 1 through 6. The last one was it's only major picture. And then we went to the never exceed and very important manifold. Got your green and yellow and red arc. And that's it. Alright. So we'll hold off. That was chapter 5. Helicopter Flying Handbook, see ya.